Good evening, council, members of the public. Call to order the Tuesday, May 26, 2026 regular meeting of council. First up is under 2.1, adoption of this evening's agenda. Councillor McLean, Councillor Pearson, any additions or deletions? Just a heads up for council, I do have a recommendation under 5.3 that will with your support, we'll enter into a committee of the whole so we can have more of a conversation around our UBCM meetings versus a debate. Other than that, all in favor? It's carried. 3.1, we need to adopt the minutes of the May 12th, 2026 regular meeting of council. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor McLean, any errors or omissions arising? Excuse me. All in favor? It's carried. 3.2, adoption of the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting being May 12th, 2026. Councillor Mullet, Councillor Pearson, any errors or omissions arising? All in favor? Carried. No delegations this evening. Under 5.1, well, in administrative reports, 5.1, need to approve special resolution in attachment of this report. Amending the Valemount Industrial Park Articles of Incorporation, version 12, May 26, 2026. Councillor Pearson, Councillor McLean, discussion, sort of getting them on track with the Valemount Community Forest articles.
Makes perfect sense.
All in favor? It's carried. 5.2, clarification of training required in the Valemount Community Forest and Valemount Industrial Park Articles of Incorporation, and we're looking to have the education and training requirement of the Valemount Community Forest and Valemount Industrial Park articles to be, and someone suggest a motion. Councillor Pearson?
Oh, sorry.
Did you have one?
No, I was way ahead of you on that one.
My recommendation is to follow the Cabro BC Corporations training. It's a 5-part module. Very goes from, well, let's get a motion on the table and then I can sell it. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor McLean. The Cabro version, so the first one in the report, is really followed closely by the all corporations of the province. So whether you're BC Hydro or Columbia Basin Trust or anyone, BC Transit, it's a requirement that you finish those modules. And they're very, first module is very rudimentary, it's how to be a board member, right down to risk management in module 5. I found it to be incredibly helpful in navigating the corporate board world. Councillor Pearson?
Yeah, just wondering timeline and such for that program. I mean, I like the idea of the 5 module, but we're also dealing with volunteer boards and time as well, right? So is this something that can be done over 6 months?
Oh yeah, it's self-paced, it's online, it's however fast you want to take it.
Okay, and then on that point, would we be looking to put
A timeline on it.
timeline on it then?
Up to you guys.
Something they could do as a group and put it on the agenda. There's so much per
Yeah, I mean, they could work it into a
meeting.
regular board meeting. Sure.
Could you?
You've got 7 laptops sitting there. They've got fiber going into that place.
It's individually completed, though. Is that not correct?
That's correct. So if they had 7 laptops, you could fire away. They take about anywhere from half hour to an hour per module.
Just Something like that is really good to do in a group setting because that stirs a lot of conversation and then back and forth and stuff, as we all know. So that's just a suggestion.
We leave it up to the boards to,
Yep.
you want to do it on a Saturday, do it on a Saturday.
Yep.
Councillor Pearson, did you have any recommendations on timeline for completion? X amount of time following an AGM?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, anybody that's done any board training is, anytime there's a change in the board, it's a new board and requires new training. So it becomes a bit of a challenge, but I would definitely think that within 3 months of your AGM and an election of a board, that either done individually or, as was mentioned, doing a Saturday afternoon deep dive over, lunch and coffee and get her done. But I would suggest 3 months would be a workable schedule.
Amendment to the motion, so you want to form that into a motion then?
You're asking this turtle.
I mean, we got the spirit.
Yeah.
Is there a seconder on the 3 months completion time? Councillor Blanchette? Any discussion on the amendment? All in favor on the amendment? Back to the original motion as amended. Further discussion? All in favor? Carried. 5.3, 2026 UBCM meetings. I recommend that we enter into a committee of the whole. I have a mover, Councillor Pearson, Councillor Mullick. Seconds that we enter into committee of the whole at 7:07. Call to order all in favor? Carried. Now call to order the committee of the whole. Topic specific for the 2026 UBCM meetings. Not everybody at once. My recommendations, given the current climate, the 13.3 billion and climbing deficit that the province is currently on, that our UBCM meetings be focused solely on what's remaining in our strategic priorities, and that has benefit to the entire province. So if there's something in our, has to do with being active or accessible or other things, Indigenous relations, all those things, I would make sure we focus on that, because there's no piggy bank to smash when we go to Vancouver.
What's in our, what's left in our strategic plan?
Oh boy.
Priorities.
I think there's 6 major action items remaining, and I can't name you one. Active transportation plan, 4th Street master plan.
Only 3.
3 left, sorry. They're all plans. If there's something there that we could have the province help us achieve. One thing I would consider recommending to this committee is, if it's identified in our transportation, that province rebuild the bridge or the salmon viewing platform at George Hicks Park, and continue that active transportation plan to at least the 2 campgrounds through the right-of-way. So meeting with the Minister of Transportation, the Minister of the Environment.
Provincial appointment book right here.
Do you? Look at that.
We know what the third priority was? The third priority that we had, or that was left on the docket?
Don't have it
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Fortunately, Ms. Yansu and I did not meet on Monday.
Can this be held off until next meeting, or no?
It's pretty tight timeline.
Okay.
Would the committee give me the opportunity to work with staff to bring you a summary of what we've come up with to the next meeting?
Well, if it's a tight time frame, can we do that over email and then give the go-ahead? Like, I mean, it's,
I don't like votes over email.
I know, but I mean, if we're in a tight time frame and we're not going to see the messaging until the next meeting, then
The deadline for submissions is June 24th.
Okay.
We could.
When I bring something back to this committee by the May 24th, by the May, or June, first meeting in June.
and can we see the three?
We'll have that sent out.
Yeah,
But if there's anything that's really gnawing at you, that you really want to get in front of a minister, I'm not going to turn it away.
we have to be realistic though too, but we have to remember that whatever we decide has to work for Valemount, right? Like, that's why we're here. The extra would be if it does work for the rest of the province, that's great, but it's got to work for Valemount first.
But you want to be able to present them with a win.
I know, and we
make it-
want to
and make it-
present,
And make it their idea.
I know, and we want to present solutions, not just problems, which we've done as the whole time we've done this, you know.
Yeah, approach them with a solution, not with a handout.
Yeah,
Councillor Mullock?
So, not quite clear. So how would Northern Health and Hydro, how would they fit into, and,
Those would be separate, but if you would like to meet with either one of those, we'll make that recommendation to council.
in keeping with what you're suggesting, I really think it's important that we continue along some of those roads that we've developed those relationships over the last few years, and I really want to, or I would really hope that we continue to work, because it seems to me in the last year or so that we're starting to see dividends by creating those relationships and keeping the message exactly the same, not throwing roadblocks, looking at solutions or things that could make, that would enhance the quality of life of people in this valley.
Yep.
we have to remember too, like, we just got an email from Hydro the other day prepping us for a meeting, and then Northern Health also reaches out separately and says, hey, do you want to have?
Yeah. Any particular topic for BC Hydro and or Northern Health, or just?
Well, I think the Hydro one, the one that we seem to be making headway, the air quality and that, and continue on that power. I have to say, one of the things that has stuck with me in this last few years is your use of being at the end of an extension cord, and it's become so appropriate, I think. And so, continuing along that line, I think is really, really important, because, like I say, it seems, when we came away from that meeting last fall, we actually felt, or I felt, that something had changed. That it wasn't, for lack of a better word, antagonistic. It was a lot. There was very thoughtful discussion, and it was and around the table, it seemed to me that it was very positive. And look what happened in those letters, subsequently. So,
We were also talking to the VP of Facilities too, so that helped.
Yes. Well, exactly. And if there's anything that you learn from this is those relationships are incredibly important. Because then, it was interesting, just as an aside, just going to NCLGA, and meeting some of the folks that were having meetings there. that recognized, and know your name and are thinking, okay, then what we're doing is working, because we're in their somewhere in their mindset they're acknowledging us. So definitely a good thing. And I think the Northern Health one, I think, goes without saying, all the endeavors that we've been trying to do, all the challenges that we have, and I strongly believe that we are making inroads with that as well. Things that were just to me initially seemed to be discounted because they are good ideas, and a good idea does ultimately float to the top, and I think here we are.
So I have 3 recommendations that I've heard coming from this committee of the whole, meeting with BC Hydro, meeting with Northern Health, and having myself work with administration on looking at the strategic priorities, where we're at, how the province, brainstorm how the province can assist in providing, helping us provide a solution, and report back to council, first council meeting of June 2020.
Also had your,
We'll bring that back, more fulsome report.
I would support that one. Fighting for that one for a few years, so. And that report back to us, will we have that information in a little more timely fashion than 2 days before, like ahead of the agenda? Is it possible to have some of that information? Because this is time, takes time to think about these versus getting a Friday afternoon agenda for a Tuesday meeting. It would be nice if there's a possibility of having.
I can endeavor to send them to you individually, because it is an agenda item, or will be an agenda item. I don't want to send it to you as a group, but we can always meet offline to discuss an agenda item that does not meet the opportunity for.
Okay. It just gives us a better opportunity to have those discussions as well. So
I will endeavor. Any further recommendations from the committee? Okay. Looking to adjourn. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Mullock, in favor. Carried, 717. And then to 5.3 UBCM meetings. We're looking that council approve the committee of the whole recommendations as presented from the committee of the whole. So meeting with BC Hydro, meeting with Northern Health Authority, and providing myself and administration the opportunity to review our strategic priorities, what's remaining, and to bring a report back to council first week, June 2026. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor McLean. Discussion. All in favor? Carried. 5.4, Fifth Avenue asphalt resurfacing tender summary. We're looking to provide additional funding for that project in the amount of $85,000. Councillor Pearson, Councillor Blanchette. Discussion. Price of fame. All in favor? Carried. 5.5, active transportation proposal. Looking for council to award the Village of Valemount Parks and Trails contract to Ely's and Associates Consulting in the amount of $122,277 plus tax. Moved by Councillor McLean, second by Councillor Mullock. Discussion. Councillor Mullock.
I just want to comment. I was really happy to see the number of folks that put a bid in, and it was nice to see some of the names I recognize. being local. And so, yeah, a good turnout. That's very encouraging these days to see that many.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. Anything out of the reading file folks would like to bring to surface? Okay. Is there, item 10, is there a notice of motion to be brought forward? 12, council reports. NCLGAers. Councilor McLean.
I'm just going to hit the highlights because it was very busy time. But I do not. So May 20th, 21st, and 22nd, I, along with Councillor Mullick, attended the North Central Local Government Association Conference in Prince George. The theme of this three-day conference was Walking Together, a theme chosen to highlight the importance of honoring relationships and leading change. Every day was packed with activities right up to late Friday afternoon. Wednesday started at 7:30 in the morning, attending the Northern Medical Programs Trust AGM on behalf of Mayor Torgerson. Then the Northern Health Forum. Then in the afternoon, the Prince George Energy Leadership Tour, which I was happy to get in. I was on a waiting list. It took us to private and public facilities in Prince George that are unique Canadian energy leadership initiatives. For me, the highlights of the tour were the work at the College of New Caledonia to retrofit the structure with advanced energy efficient systems, and then Lakeland Mills biofuel system that heats Prince George's downtown renewable heating system. Dinner and the keynote address followed. Dr. Daniel Sims of UNBC was the keynote speaker. Thursday was taken up with the business session of the AGM, concurrent learning sessions and polls, followed by festivities in the plaza. I attended the agriculture concurrent learning session, which highlighted the problems farmers are facing today with many current issues. So Friday was again part of the business meeting of the AGM, a ministers panel with Brittany Anderson, Minister of State for Local Governments and Rural Communities. The interim leader of the opposition, Trevor Halford, spoke. The strategic plan was updated. NDIT gave updates. Gord Klassen, president of the Northern Medical Program, spoke about the work the organization is doing towards supporting medical students and retaining them in the North after graduation. The resolution session continued, followed by a session to share the latest developments, challenges, recent initiatives. Closing remarks ended the conference late Friday afternoon. This morning I had a meeting of the CBT Local Governments Committee.
Councillor Mullick, follow-up.
Wow. Well, May 19th, I attended a Tourism Valemount meeting, and I was along on that NCLG conference for the 3 days afterwards, and I guess just to add to Councillor McLean, it was, again, full on, but some really interesting subjects. I did go on the energy tour too, and I was just amazed at all of the endeavors that are going on in Prince George. You don't realize until you start taking some of these roads and giving tours, the synthetic fuels and the heating of, the heating of the hotel that we were staying at. Just some of the endeavors, as well as what UNBC is involved with all of these things, with all, and that was a real eye-opener, and it formed a lot of discussions over the next couple of days with myself and several others that I wanted to understand a little bit more of what was going on, and they were more than helpful, more than happy to provide any answers to any questions that we had. And I think I'd mentioned earlier on that I've received a few emails and follow-ups from some of these things. So that whole part was so encouraging, just to see what is going on, and in the world that we're currently in, just seeing how they're kind of changing directions in some cases to meet these new challenges, I guess. And, I did also talking about the things that that are going on as far as the various trainings that that UNBC is involved with, and their willingness to look at other things too. That the sky is the limit really, and that whole idea of having being able to accommodate people from the north in the north. Trying to help with just the, I guess, the financial challenges, and all of the other challenges of having maybe to travel 1,000 kilometers to go, to go to the Lower Mainland or whatever. Being able to do it here and seeing the high caliber, the quality of the teaching that's going on here, it's well recognized. So that was really really interesting. What was also really nice over these days, and unfortunately Councillor Pearson wasn't able to see this part, but one of the things that we have angst with is the resolutions and how important they are in this, and in having discussions with some of the folks that were carrying this on, trying to expedite things to make sure that we got all the resolutions through, and we were able to.
Okay.
So that was really nice. And in that walking together, the spirit of cooperation, the one thing that we were able to do is talk with our colleagues in McBride and elsewhere a fair bit more this time, and that was really interesting. And what I thought was quite interesting too is that I was amazed. I think they had 5 or 6 resolutions that they put forward that all got accepted, and they were ones that were, I just, as I was looking at these and going through them, I was thinking, we agree with all of these. We need to do more to collaborate, to support that before it has to go to resolutions, so we can help them kind of fine tune maybe more of a regional way of looking at putting some of these resolutions forward. But yeah, an excellent use of time. I was really really happy with this one. And yeah, and last but not least is the keynote address. It was really really interesting and so valid, talking about some of the challenges with lands and things that are going on currently in the province, and just hearing it very clearly and well thought out by the keynote speaker, and trying to bring everybody's trying to remove that feeling of uncertainty that people are having, saying, no, this is how it really is. So let's work together. Back to the collaboration, the walking together. Let's find these solutions together, and that I found very very encouraging. But yeah, like say, an excellent use of that time. I was really happy to be there, and hopefully people were happy that I was there as well, because we did, like I mentioned, we had a lot of long discussions with folks. So yeah, definitely a good use of time. That's it for me.
Thank you both for attending this year's NCLGA conference. What say you, Councillor Blanchette?
I held down the fort.
Okay. Councillor Pearson?
Nothing directly council related, but I did sit in on a Zoom session put on by the Climate Caucus on Lytton and their process of recovery going on 6 years. Mayor O'Connor did an excellent job of presenting from her viewpoint. I mean, her house was just up the street from town hall, and watching it all come down, and I mean, stuff you didn't really hear on the news, in that, because it was just in the beginning of that heat dome, everybody was shuttered up inside in their air conditioning, and nobody heard it coming. They were not evacuated. They ran for their lives. It was really interesting. And then the one key point I took,
perspective.
yeah, and the one key point I took out of it, over 60% of those properties were not insured. 60% did not carry house insurance. So, yeah, it was a very interesting hour and a little bit presentation on the struggles and challenges, I mean, that are still ongoing, trying to get rebuilt. So that was all I had.
Thank you. May 14th in the morning, had a meeting of the Resort Community Collaboratives Mayors. Later that morning and into the afternoon, had the Regional District Fraser Fort George committees and board. And then on May 22nd, I had an annual visit here in the council chambers from the grade 1-2 class, led by Mrs. Ramirez from Valemount Elementary School. It was very cool questions coming from really young scholars. Years past, under Mrs. Lawless, they would really, on paper, create a village, bylaws and all these other wonderful elections for, your favorite Canadian. So going through the democratic process. Mrs. Ramirez this year had them visiting multiple public, either RCMP, fire department, and then really, they were interview questions. They were just really pointed discussion questions, and fascinating. And then the follow-up discussion was equally as fascinating with, 6 and 7-year-olds.
Did you pass the interview?
I did not. Did not. That's me. Calendar of events under 13.1 is there for information. And then under 14.1, we have time for public comments on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Are there any public comments this evening? Mr. Sadchuk of Valemount.
I just wanted to, I wrote a couple things. I went through all the agendas and stuff. I just wanted to, I don't know if I'm just bringing up because I was away for the last couple of months. So about the paving again on the 5th there. So it was budgeted, I read through that at past meetings, 715. The contract is 340. So is that what was budgeted at 715? Is that only for this year, or is that just carry forward? Or did you guys, I know we got a plan going for Dogwood, but
What we don't eat up on the Fifth Avenue project will be going back into surplus for the next annual budget.
for paving or,
It'll go back into surplus,
oh yeah.
and then until the next council decides on what they would like to do with the next budget.
I know we got a plan going with the recycled pavement, so hopefully that's going to work out. So I thought maybe,
That's a separate budget item.
yeah. Okay. And then I just wanted to ask about that Parks and Trails contract.
Yeah.
I read through that, but it didn't say too much of what they're going to look at the 4 parks. Is that what I understand? And kind of,
It's a trails and paths plan, so active transportation plan. Really, the focal point is the parks on how to get you safely from park to park to park to park. One of the ideas that stemmed from our official community plan is the Mountains to Marsh Trail. So incorporating, ensuring that that gets incorporated into this master plan for our parks, trails, and paths.
okay, that's all I had.
Thank you. Any further public comment this evening? If not, then I would like council support to proceed to a closed meeting under 15.1 for consideration of one item for section 91E of the community charter to discuss matters related to E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or movements or improvements, take my glasses, of the council, if the council considers that the closure could reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor Blanchette. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. That concludes our open meeting. Thanks.
Have a good night.
Take care.